Hello Nana everyone, welcome to this session. Children, today we are going to discuss about fourth chapter, what do animals eat? You know that different types of animals, they have different types of food habits. In this session I would like to discuss the assignment key dated on 2nd July 2020. There are 5 different questions are given in this assignment. The first question is, what is a food chain? What is a food chain? How can you define a food chain? What is the definition for a food chain? Food chain explains interdependency of living organisms, one on another. So once again I will explain. The food chain explains interdependency of living organisms. Interdependency of living organisms, one on other, for their food requirement, for their regular habitats, for their regular activities. Generally, the food chain explains the interdependency of living organisms related to their food habits. Second question, what is a food web? Let us see what is a food web. A food web is considered as the group of food chains. The group of food chains scientifically termed as the food web. A food chain is completely different from a food web. The interdependency of living organisms, one on another, in different streams or in different medium on the regular habitat is called as generally the food web. Next question I am reading now. What's the difference between a food web and a food chain? What is the difference between a food web and a food chain? How can you say the differences between a food web and a food chain? You know that a food chain explains interdependency of one organism and another, whereas a food web explains different types of living organisms in different types of mediums, generally termed as food web. If suppose I want to give an example for a food web, if you take an aquatic ecosystem or aquatic habitat, smaller fishes are fed by larger fishes. Larger fishes are fed by generally bigger fishes or human beings, whereas phytoplankton, zooplanktons, these are all fed by the smaller fishes, isn't it? So in this way, the energy is moving from one place to or one organism to another organism. So in this case, a group of smaller fishes, a group of larger fishes, a group of human beings, a group of phytoplankton together forms a food web, isn't it? Or a single smaller fish, a single bigger fish, one human. In this way or in this path, you can see only one type of food chain. Why? Because smaller fishes are eaten by larger fishes. Small fish is eaten by large fish. Large fish is eaten by humans. So in this case, only the one living organism is a food for another living organism. So in this way, the food chain is different from a food web. So if you want to know the differences between a food web and food chain, let us see what are the differences which you can mention. A food chain indicates about a single living organism and their need, whereas a food web explains a group of food chains and interdependency of living organisms in this food web. In this way, we can differentiate a food web and a food chain. Understood now everyone? I hope so. Every one of you understood. Let us see the next question. What do you understand about world of ants? What do you understand about world of ants? If suppose take an ants. Ants are generally considered as one of the hard workers in an animal kingdom. Best hard workers in an animal kingdom is ants. They can collect their food from different sources. They could not depend upon others. So ants are generally one of the self hard workers. They could not depend upon others. Now here, you know that the world of ants living in different places, they know how to collect the food. They are helps in the formation of a particular food chain. Next, make your own food chain, display it in your classroom. So for that, I would like to display it on your board first. After that, you display in your classroom. So let us see. If you want to know a food chain, your own food chain, here it was mentioned as your own food chain. I would like to draw my own food chain. So I am taking phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons are living in the water. What do you mean by phytoplanktons? Phyto means smaller or plant. Microscopic plants are called as the phytoplanktons living in the water. Phytoplanktons are fed by zooplanktons. Zooplanktons are nothing but the microscopic organisms, animals, generally considered as the zooplanktons. Zooplanktons are fed by small fishes. Zooplanktons are fed by small fishes. As I said to you, small fishes are fed by large fishes. Finally, the large fishes are considered as or consumed by the humans. Large fishes are consumed by the humans. So in this case, humans are considered as top carnivores in this food chain. So let us see who are the producers in this food chain. Producers who gives food for every living organism, they are phytoplanktons. Microscopic plants are called as a phytoplanktons. Now here, zooplankton, small fishes, large fishes, humans, they are all considered as consumers. What are they called? Consumers. So this is one of the best example for a food chain which I would like to show in this session. Thank you. Have a nice day, and remaining sessions and remaining assignment keys with more interesting examples going to discuss in the coming sessions. Thank you. Be safe. Have a nice day.